love the church for helping to bring a new daycare center into the community.
Well, after months with no child care center, a new one is up and running in Fisher thanks to the help of a local church.
Plus, the University of Illinois welcomes the chancellor to campus today.
It's a first for me to not make AYP.
And local educators are optimistic because of a chance to ditch No Child Left Behind. ABC News Channel 15 First News at 5 starts now.
Well, new faces and a fresh look. 1 month after a new daycare opens in Fisher, things are looking up for parents and kids. Good evening, I'm Rick Schutt.
And I'm Erin Murphy. An update on a story we first brought you back in December. Parents in one local town were left helpless as the only daycare in Fisher closed its doors.
But after a little help, a local church and many dedicated community members, a new center is up and running.
ABC News Channel 15's Liz Loheis joins us live from the newsroom with more on tonight's top story. Liz.
Rick and Aaron, the new daycare center in Fisher is in the same building the old one was in and cares for many of the same children. What makes it different is enrollment numbers are up, it's up to code, and the owners feel financially secure.
I love how it's totally changed and it looks so new.
It's not just the fresh paint on the walls of First Community Church Christian Kids Care in Fisher that's making things seem brighter. It's also the mood.
The community's been happy that it's opened again.
There was a different feeling in this same building back in December when it was Sunshine Christian Preschool. Because of low enrollment and lack of funding to bring things up to code, it had to shut down.
A lot of people wondered where they were going to take their children.
Some concerned community members went to this church to see if board members could help. Since the church owns the daycare building, they leased it to the now owner for free and also donated money to get things renovated. 8 months later, there's a new kitchen, fresh paint, and brand new cribs.
From the church, they're giving us a lot of support to get this going.
Since it opened July 1st, 30 kids have enrolled. About half of them attended the old center, including Megan Thomas's son. She's thrilled to have a daycare back in Fisher because it gives her the opportunity to work and be with her son.
It's so nice that he can just be right here with me and I can be working and be caring for my child at the same time.
Fire! So while things are looking up now, I had to ask, what will make this daycare succeed when the previous one did not?
Most everybody's a new staff, so you know it's a different environment, different outlook. It's new, it's fresh.
Staff at the daycare also told me it's not just kids from Fisher enrolled in the center, but outlying communities as well. Part of the reason maybe it's unique hours. The center allows children to stay there for up to 12 hours a day. Rick, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Liz. Enrollment is still open at First Community Christian Church Daycare. Now, 30 kids attend now. The center can care for up to 50.
Well, Illinois will join many other states when it files for a chance to get out of No Child Left Behind program. The Education Secretary has announced the Obama administration will give some states a waiver. ABC News Channel 15's AJ Bydpor joins us live in our Vermilion County Bureau. AJ, why does Illinois want out?
Well, Aaron, the state superintendent of schools says the rigid annual requirements are just unfair. The schools at a disadvantage can make progress, but if they don't meet that federal guideline, they face punishment. And one example of this is Liberty Elementary in Danville. Last year's benchmark for adequate yearly progress was 85%. Liberty's test scores were an improvement. However, they didn't catch up with the AYP standard, which rises every year. Now, Liberty's principal says a better model would be based on improvement throughout the year and not just a single standardized test every February.
We would all feel just a little bit relief. We would hope that we will see some type of growth model and that we are making growth and that growth is steady throughout the years. That would probably be a better goal to set for our schools and for our students.
And if you're making one grade level of reading, that's enough, for example. I mean, that would be where a district's doing a good job, but under the current system is still getting punished for that.
Education Secretary Arnie Duncan made the announcement yesterday. He says details about how to apply for those waivers will be released to the states next month. Congress can change the current federal law, which was supposed to be reauthorized back in 2007. President Obama sent a plan to overhaul the current system to Congress a little more than a year ago, but without any action, he asked Duncan to go ahead and move forward with this waiver plan. Aaron?
All right, AJ, thank you for that. Well, in addition to Illinois, Wisconsin, Montana, Minnesota, Kentucky, Virginia, and Georgia have announced plans to apply for this waiver.
Well, parents in Danville are casting their votes today. They'll decide whether the school district implements a uniform policy. Now, the decision will be made on a case-by-case basis for each school. Originally, a school would switch to uniforms if 60% of its parents voted yes. But now the school board will make the call using the results for each school. If approved, the policy would take effect next fall. Voting will continue through Thursday. Now let's check in with Doug Quick, and a very big day today, Doug.
It is a big day. It's the return of the Sullivan Park Hill Tower Cam from above our studios about 200 feet in the air. It was a victim of a thunderstorm a little earlier in the summer. Well, it's back, and back better than ever. As we look out to the west, we're looking at mostly clear conditions, partly cloudy skies, though, throughout the afternoon. That was because of a cold front that's in the process of moving through. Now, it is triggering just a little bit of scattered shower thunderstorm activity. This one just moving out to the east of the Posodum area, pretty close to Villa Grove, and this one a little south of the Broadlands area as well. We were watching one kind of develop over northern Vermilion County, moving right across the northern edge of Danville and out to the east. All of these counties, by the way, in Indiana are currently under a severe thunderstorm watch that will be in effect until a little later this evening. 87 right now at Willard. Meanwhile, in Danville, 81 degrees of temperature there. Chance of some evening showers and storms, but not much. We'll see cooler conditions tomorrow. A nice forecast for a change. We'll tell you about it. Storm Team 15 forecast is on the way. Rick and Aaron, back to you.
All right, Doug, thank you. Well, a Chicago federal judge has decided not to send a former Democratic fundraiser to prison for his role in trying to shake down a business. The judge sentenced Joseph Gary to 3 years on probation. He must spend the first 9 months on home confinement. He pleaded guilty to attempted extortion as part of a plea agreement. Now, prosecutors praised the 58-year-old, telling the judge that he played a key role in bringing major movers and shakers in Illinois to trial, including Blagojevich. An often emotional Gary testified at Blagojevich's first corruption trial that ended in a deadlocked jury.
Well, this afternoon, the community had a chance to meet and greet Dr. Phyllis Weiss. She's the new vice president of the University of Illinois and chancellor of the Champaign-Urbana campus. ABC News Channel 15's James Fillmore joins us live from Campus Town with more on this story. James.
Well, Rick, some of the Board of Trustees as well as President Michael Hogan introduced Weiss this afternoon inside the Illini Union. Weiss says she is deeply humbled at the opportunity to serve U of I. She's leaving her position as executive vice president and provost of the University of Washington to come here to U of I. The 66-year-old says leading a flagship campus of a major research university is an honor, a privilege, and a great responsibility. She's eager to get to work and already knows what she wants to tackle first.
I think maintaining the excellence of this university in the area of learning and discovery and engagement with partners is going to be key. And so I need to learn more about what's already been done and where we need to work harder.
Weiss says a big challenge for the university will be finding other sources of revenue if the state decreases its funding support. She's been to the Champaign-Urbana campus before for a medical symposium. She even has a sense of humor, joking that she had always loved blue, and now she just needs to find some more orange. Now, Weiss will officially take over on October 1st if she is officially approved by the Board of Trustees. Live from Campus Town, James Fillmore, ABC News Channel 15.
All right, James, thanks a lot. Weiss replaces interim chancellor Robert Easter, who says he plans to retire but stay involved on the Champaign-Urbana campus.
One local hospital takes a giant step toward less invasive surgeries. Provena Covenant Medical Center is using the latest technology, a robot. While surgeons have used robots for years to make surgeries more minimally invasive, Provena now has the latest one. It has a simulator to help teach medical students, as well as an option called plug and play, which allows the latest technology to be used on the current machine. Officials say it's a piece of equipment that is not usually seen in this area.
But you know, here we are, Champaign, Illinois, and we have the latest technology to be able to allow our surgeons here in this community to be able to do things like this. And we're very lucky to be able to have things like that.
Experts say using robotic machines in surgery can cut a patient's recovery time in half.
There's still time to weigh in on the story you want to see in tonight's Choose Your News segment. Just head to our Facebook page to cast your vote. Your choices tonight are hot baguettes from a vending machine, parrot rescued from car grill, and anteater found in yard.
And we'll check back in at Camp Rantoul, find out which player is creating a lot of buzz this year. Those stories and more coming up next on ABC News Channel 15.
Well, Former University of Illinois basketball player Jeremy Richmond faces battery and weapons charges.
Richmond was arrested yesterday in Lake County. According to police, he shoved his 17-year-old girlfriend and threatened to shoot her outside her house. Police drove up as 19-year-old Richmond searched for something in a car while another man waited. Police found a gun in that car. Now Richmond is charged with aggravated battery, aggravated unlawful use of weapons, domestic battery, and other charges. Lake County court officials say he hasn't entered a plea and doesn't have an attorney yet. Richmond was heavily recruited but spent only one season in Illinois. He played sparingly and was benched for off-court issues before leaving for the NBA draft. However, he wasn't drafted.
Well, the Illini football team, they're an hour and a half into practice number 2 at Camp Rantoul, and that's where ABC News Channel 15 Steve Breitweiser is with more. And Steve, since quarterback isn't an issue, the next most high-profile spot to focus in on, of course, is running back.
Yeah, they're set at QB, but you knew that already, right, with Nathan Schulhouse there. If there is any position group at Camp Rantoul generating some buzz right now, it would have to be the running backs, and that's primarily thanks to a couple of freshmen that have shown up here for the Fighting Illini. Now, you know, the Zucker and Paul Petrino, they both like to use multiple backs, and that's really the way it is now at the college and the pro level. I mean, you got to have a bunch of guys carrying the rock for you at all times and divvy up the carries, but they also got, you know, the presumptive starter in there is going to be Jason Ford, Bud Golden involved, Troy Pollard, then freshman Donovan Young and Josh Ferguson. The newbies in the mix are the ones providing the spark. Young's from Katy, Texas. He got hurt in high school his junior year, breaking his foot. That's why some schools might have backed off of him, and he got out of the state, but he had more than 2,000 yards and 36 TDs as a senior, and he says there were no offers until the Illini got him here.
I feel every time I step on the field, I feel like I have something to prove. They gave me number 5, and I mean that's a big time thing in Illinois. So I just feel like if I go out and work hard, focus, and be a good teammate, I think the rest will happen.
Now this guy benches 225 pounds 22 times. He has got Rashard Mendenhall-like arms, that's for sure. And we'll find out a little bit more later in the week about, you know, his kind of running style, especially at the scrimmage when you get a chance to watch the new number 5. We'll hope to have a special guest for you coming up later on ABC News Channel 15 at 6, live in Rantoul. Steve Breitweiser, ABC News Channel 15. Back to you guys.
All right, Steve. You know, Doug, I think they timed out Camp Rantoul because, what, a couple weeks ago they would have been out there in the 100-degree heat.
Oh, my gosh.
That would have been really miserable. Well, much cooler conditions expected here as we get into the middle of the week. What a beautiful afternoon. We've seen humidity levels a little lower than what we've had over the last few days. Sullivan Park Hill Tower Cam looking out to the west and seeing mostly sunny skies. Now, there are some locations seeing a few scattered showers or sprinkles. We'll take a closer look at that. And the Storm Team 15 forecast, you gotta like it. It's coming up next. And welcome back to ABC News Channel 15, and here it is, the Sullivan Park Hill Tower Cam time lapse, watching some clouds move across the Twin Cities a little earlier this afternoon. All of those clouds associated with a cold front that's in the process of sweeping across the area. Now it is generating a little bit of activity, but not much. We've seen a few scattered showers and perhaps thunderstorms depending on your location. We did see one though in northern Vermilion County that moved across northern neighborhoods of Danville and eventually made its way over into the state line Indiana area before moving off now in the Crawfordsville area. 88 degrees, the high temperature today, 66 degrees a little earlier this morning. Still above average, but the nice thing about it is the dew points were so low, and our August total, it's not showing up, but they did pick up a little bit of rain at the Illinois Water Survey, about 7/100. So not a lot there to talk about, but if you were fortunate enough to get rain yesterday, I was, and my rain gauge, I picked up about 3/4 of an inch of rain from all of the activity yesterday. Well, you'll notice that W in the corner of your screen. We're under a severe thunderstorm watch, at least for our Indiana counties, and that includes all of the counties within the ABC News Channel 15 viewing area, except one, and that's Benton County. But this will be in effect through 10 p.m. tonight. That's Eastern Daylight Time, 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And for the rest of us, well, chances of showers and storms, but not seeing a lot across our area. All of these counties are in that severe thunderstorm watch again, expiring a little later tonight. This is what we were watching a little earlier this afternoon. There it goes, moving off into the Crawfordsville area there in Montgomery County, and just a few little speckles there in northern Douglas County and northern Edgar County, right along the US 136 corridor, almost down into the Newman area, south of Villa Grove, seeing a little bit. And Maybe right around the Yuma area, seeing a little bit of shower and or a little bit of sprinkles or perhaps even a light shower. Again, all of these counties under that severe thunderstorm watch. Current temperatures well up into the 80s. It didn't really feel all that warm thanks to the lower humidity levels. Champaign at 87, Mattoon at 88, Watseka at 82, Danville at 81, Rantoul the warm spot, checking in with 90 degrees currently. But you can really see that cold front here. See those clouds? There it is, and it's kind of a broken line of clouds moving to the southeast. Behind it, cooler, milder conditions. This is something we've been looking forward to for quite some time. We're going to see overnight lows dip down into the 50s. Now we're watching another disturbance moving to the south on Thursday. Could spread a little bit of cloudiness across our area, but that's about it. We're going to keep those showers and thunderstorms until just at the end of the week, late Friday night into early Saturday morning. We could see a little bit of shower and thunderstorms. And there it is, that severe thunderstorm watch again for most of our Indiana counties. 60 for the overnight low tonight. 78 will be the high tomorrow with mostly sunny skies, cooler and drier conditions. Overnight lows dipping down into the 50s early Thursday and Friday morning. And there's our chances of showers and thunderstorms again late Friday into early Saturday morning. So there it is, and we welcome back the tower cam.
And welcome back to cooler weather, too.
Yes, most definitely.
Thanks, Doug. Well, are you upset about the market, the debt ceiling, and of course lawmakers?
If you answered yes, you're not alone. Up next, we'll show you what some are saying needs to be done to fix the nation's problems. A huge rally closed another seesaw ride for stocks today, just one day after the biggest drop in years and a U.S. credit downgrade.
Investors were in a buying mood after Monday's massive sell-off. The Dow Jones was up more than 200 points at times throughout the day. It closed up 429, crossing back over the 11,000 mark as bargain hunters tried to take advantage of stocks that were beaten down the day before. The Federal Reserve announced that it would keep interest rates near zero for the next 2 years. The Fed's action was also an acknowledgement that the economy is weaker than first thought. Some are even calling on Congress to end their summer recess and come back to Washington to try and shore up the economy.
Well, throw out the bums. That's the message from voters to all of Congress in a new Gallup poll. As Megan Gilliland reports, the final straw was the debt ceiling debacle.
Who do you think is more to blame, the president or Congress?
Congress.
Why?
Absolutely.
It's a big mess. Can't get together.
Michael Fleming and Mary Wilkin are not the only angry voters.
The Tea Party made it clear in the last election, and I think they're going to get their comeuppance come next term.
According to a new Gallup USA Today poll, only 24% of people surveyed think anyone in Congress should be reelected. And a majority of Americans, 51%, say President Obama should not be reelected. It gets even worse for Washington.
I think that's total crap, actually. I think they haven't listened to the people.
And the people realize that. A recent Rasmussen poll shows that just 17% of Americans believe that government has the consent of the people, an all-time low. Congress's approval rating is at just 6%, another all-time low. And get this, 46% of Americans think members of Congress are corrupt.
I don't think they're doing a good job at all.
There's talk of an uprising, like during the troubled times that led to the Revolutionary War. Another change is not out of the question for voters.
What would you tell your congressman to do at this point?
Think about the little people.
So I think we're getting to the point where we almost need a single party rather than Democrat or Republican, because it's been proven over the last 3 years they can't work together.
I'm Megan Gilland reporting.
Political experts say it's unrealistic to expect 75% of Congress to get the boot next year, but the poll results are similar to those before 1996, 2006, and 2010 elections when control of the House or Senate changed parties.
Up next, what'd you pick for tonight's Choose Your News segment?
We'll reveal the winner, plus Doug Quick will be back in with the final check of that forecast. Don't go away.
Well, finally, which story did you pick for tonight's Choose Your News?
Now your choices were hot baguettes from a vending machine,
Parrot rescued from car grill,
and an anteater found in yard.
And the winner of tonight's Choose Your News is Anteater Found in Yard.
Talk about a bizarre sight. A man driving to work finds an exotic animal limping along the road by his house.
It's not a cat or a dog, it's an anteater. Look at that.
After a night of taking care of their strange visitor, the family was relieved to hear from her owner. Turns out she escaped from a nearby USDA licensed, I'm looking at the video, licensed facility that raises animals for zoos.
The owner says she has a small scratch on her leg, but the anteater is going to be fine.
Look how she walks. That's crazy.
Remember the cartoon with the anteater and the little ant? Remember those? ESP Live looking at a few scattered showers. This one, that's about all that's left, just a little east and south of the Metcalf area. We'll have the latest Storm Team 15 forecast coming up at 6. Join us then.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Have a good night.